Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, spirit, source, and symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we are post-eclipse season, so that's in one way a good thing, and yet those energies are going to continue to play out for the next 3 to 6 months. You'll see how that's playing with this beautiful new energy. It is 10-1, October 1st, 10-1. And there was something so auspicious about this 1001, which we'll come to in a moment. So it's setting the stage for the fact that for these next 3 to 6 months, it is the beginning and it is the end. So they're contained within one another. So let's just jump in. Welcome, Kiki. Welcome, Alicia. Let's look at these beautiful main energies. October is a 10-month, all month long, so it's treading, cautious advance. And the 1 and the 0, of course, it's also the 1st of October, but the 10 and the 1 and the 0 become a 1. So we have all of these ones, these new beginnings, and this creative initiate. It's the creative force. It's a 9-year, all year long, small restraints, surrender. The numbers culminate in the master number 11, which is the most intuitive master number, which is all of this is culminating towards peace and being able to exhale. And while you don't typically reduce a master number like 11 or 22 or 33, we have 2, which is the receptive, which is the divine feminine, and to reflect. So we have these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energies of new beginnings. The creative force, the receptive force working together, which we will integrate into the show. Now let's look, we're using this chart because we're in this kind of, while this is a fairly significant astrological event where Mercury squares Jupiter, we're also we're not yet to the full moon, we're post-shadow, we're post, the eclipse energies and so forth, and the equinox energies. So we are in this no man's land of new beginnings is the way of endings, new beginnings. The interesting thing about this chart was that it instantly said to me, splitting apart to come back together. And so literally these next 3 to 6 months, this splitting apart, this ending, we're splitting apart to come back together. And that, of course, speaks to hexagram 23. And this is from Carrie Hone at catheosoul.com. Its action is to regenerate. Its hidden influence is to split apart. Its hidden influence is the receptive, to yield. And its underlying cause is 43, determination, breakthrough. And you'll see as well this breaking down to break through was something that astrologer Juliana McCarthy, we included in one of the shows just recently. So this whole aspect Where we're talking about splitting apart, this breaking down to break through, this splitting apart to come back together. So we have these energies playing out. Hexagram 23, Carrie Hone at cafeosol.com. There are times when disintegration or letting go is the only pathway to regeneration. Splitting apart is a message about how things become stronger by removing what is excessive. Pruning a tree allows its branches to become healthier and more abundant. In this situation, there is a need to release what is outworn or which no longer serves you, so that you can return to a path that is more fulfilling. This is all about this return to the soul source connection. We're returning to the purity of who we are. That's what all of these energies and certainly this just massive disintegration on a world stage of the old institutions, those things that were literally physical and tangible and so forth, that, and you'll see how in the fourth house, I'll bring that up in a second, but how all these things that we came to rely on are now being shaken to their core. They're being, split apart, disintegrated, so that what we ultimately keep, what remains, is the best of the best. Sometimes you have to separate aspects of your life to achieve balance. A relationship that is in this stage can reach an impasse where either release or renew is at play. So again, where are we in our lives, in our individual lives? What relationships do we need to release so that renew is at play? It can no longer operate within the unhealthy dynamics of the past. So again, where are the past dynamics, the old us? And we just have to face ourselves and say, is this who I am today? Is this who I want to be tomorrow? If the answer is yes, you keep going. If the answer is no, then you release so that the new you, the renewal of you, comes forward. Similarly, a relationship reaching a commitment phase can also become more stressed as each partner examines the other more carefully. Like autumn, leaves are stripped away in preparation for the rebirth of spring. When familiar landscapes die away, it can be frightening. However, this is how nature moves upward into the next cycle. We are moving up into the matriarchal, divine feminine, Aquarian, we the people era. And it is a next cycle, and it's an upward movement. It's not going backwards, it's going forward and upward. And finally, with Carrie Hone at Cafe Au Sol, the time requires patience while emptiness can be returned to fullness. Some type of overhaul is taking place. It requires great courage to wait the situation out without acting until the way becomes clear. This is all about taking, divine timing, taking right action at the right time. It's not about do nothing, but it is about exercising intuition, awareness, and that knowing. And so when the way becomes clear, you take flight, you act, you jump, be ready to jump. That was one of the shows just recently. And she concludes, what a delightful lesson in patience. And so, yes, there's patience involved in all of this. And let me just jump back really quickly to this astrological chart, because what you'll see here, there's a concentration of planets and energies. You have the North Node, where humanity's going, right next to Saturn, who is retrograde, next to the lot of fortune, and then the vertex and Neptune are right at 0 degrees Aries. They're just one's within the fourth house, the next one is in the fifth. The point is that the fourth house in astrology represents your home environment, family roots, and emotional foundations, encompassing your inner world, ancestral heritage, and sense of security. We're talking about things that are foundational. The old system, the divine, masculine, patriarchal, Piscean era. So all those things that were tangible, physical, rooted, they're of the home. The house of the home reflects your upbringing, family traditions, and the nurturing atmosphere you seek or create. It also signifies your private life, psychological security, and the deep-seated emotional patterns established in childhood. It talks about home and living space, family and ancestry, emotional foundations, our inner world. So you can see how literally on the world stage, our foundations are being shaken loose. It's the mandrake we talk about this a lot, the mandrakes in Harry Potter, where they're being uprooted and transplanted into larger pots, larger vessels, so that they can grow. And that's what's happening to us, to all of humanity, 8.234 billion people on the planet, to Mother Earth herself. We are being up-leveled, uprooted. And so the foundations of the past are giving way to the new foundations that we're creating. And this is equally, and it begins at home, it begins at home, it begins within. So this is very much a individual exercise opportunity, as well as a collective one. So we're looking at, let me just keep jumping here because there's so many things, and I'm going to jump to our main energy. And this was where it had to do with the 10-1, and the unseen said, shifting tides, power to the people. And so this is about the shifting tides, these shifting tides, and you see this kind of pearlescent, beautiful, fluid image. And then it was running into this like blood red, and this had something to do with like the blood of Christ, which we had in just an episode or two ago. The blood within us, this life force, and yet this pearlescence, this, what is divine of the unseen, and how they are melding together, they are one together, and they're reminding us, the unseen is reminding us that we are at this moment of a major breakthrough, a major breakdown, but a major breakthrough. And this splitting apart, this releasing the past, this letting go to come back together, unified and whole. And it's to remind us power to the people. There's also that power of the people, right? But this is shifting tides. So between now and April of 2026, there is a shifting of tides. Power to the people. The people have always held the power. Does not matter what country you're in or from. The power is the people. It is because it's within us. And everything, whether it's an institution, a government, a business, an enterprise, they're all comprised of people. Period. End of story. Have a nice day. And so this is a coming back to the awareness of our innate, individual, and collective divine power. Shifting tides, power to the people. And the unseen is literally showing me like you're being handed the baton. Humanity, we the people, are being handed, in Native American, it's the talking stick. It's this powerful wand, this powerful wisdom, this empowerment that says, it's you. It's always been you. And once that clicks, once we really realize that, and again, individually, within our own self, within our own relationships, and then collectively, outward, into the greater, arc and good of humanity, the institutions, the businesses, the corporations, the governments. Once that clicks, there's no turning back. The people awaken. It's the beautiful, it was a saying from Pearl Harbor, and the admiral, I believe it was an admiral, Japanese admiral, said when they bombed Hawaii, Pearl Harbor, and they said, I fear all we've done is awaken a sleeping giant. Yes, that's what all of this is doing. All of this shadow, all of the collapse of the previous era. And it's crescendoing, it's very loud. But what it's doing is it's awakening us, the people, to our power. And it's innate, it's divine, it's ever present, and it has been for time immemorial. It's just that simple. So Shifting tides, power to the people. And first from the unseen, they said, set free to soar, to climb higher. You are liberated at long last. Well, let's look at liberated is our key word. And so let's look at that very quickly and look at these chains and this green growth and the chains are being bursted apart and there's all this new life, new growth. And so liberated, to be set free from slavery, imprisonment, enemy occupation, or any kind of constraint, limitation, or traditional role, showing freedom from traditional social conventions or ideas, especially with regard to sexual roles, no longer bound by limits or controls, given liberty, freed, released. So here the unseen is saying, set free to soar, to climb higher. You are liberated at long last. And so we have this beautiful, it's our keyword liberated, but then we also have this beautiful, and bear with me, I'm jumping around here. It's liberated at long last. So liberated at long last means finally freed or released after a long and often difficult struggle. It combines the idea of being liberated or set free from confinement, control, or a limiting situation with at long last, which signifies that release has come only after a considerable delay. This phrase conveys a strong sense of relief and is often used for a long-awaited event, such as the end of a war, the end of a difficult period, or a personal breakthrough. Liberated is to be set free from imprisonment, enemy occupation, or any kind of constraint, limitation, or traditional role. This is moving beyond the past, moving beyond the box, the labels, the stereotypes, the identities, literally the idealism of the past. Because before us is a whole new world. It's a whole new octave energy. It's Aquarian, it's matriarchal, it's divine feminine. So it's a liberation from the Piscean, the patriarchal, the divine masculine. They are in harmony, and yet they're polar opposites, but they're one with each other. There's a beauty in the harmony of them working together, which we'll see here in a minute. And at long last, finally, after a significant amount of waiting, difficulty, or frustration. So again, in your individual lives, if you've been waiting for something, if you've been wanting to be set free, to climb higher, to be liberated, it's knock, 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 the door, it's right here. It's going to happen within these next 3 to 6 months. It could happen rapidly, very quickly. And yet certainly within the next 3 to 6 months. And each of us plays a critical and crucial role in that because it requires choice. It requires consciousness. It requires awareness, and it requires a willingness to jump. When the opportunity presents itself, when the knowing presents itself, jump. Be willing to jump. With that, number 2 from the unseen is incoming truth bombs. Brace yourself, be ready. And so truth bombs, they are a shocking or uncomfortable revelation. That was our keyword last week, revelation of truth that is delivered bluntly, often unexpectedly, causing a strong impact. It can be used in both positive and negative manners. Positively, it helps clarify situations or provide helpful perspective. Negatively, it can be a defensive reaction to express anger or to hurt someone with harsh, unsolicited opinions disguised as honesty. So again, incoming truth bombs. So individually, collectively, they can be positive. We may receive them in a negative manner, but their characteristics are about bluntness, unexpectedness, strong impact, uncomfortable truth. In the positive, it's about providing clarity, promoting growth, and confronting difficult issues. So incoming truth bombs. And truth bombs, again, they can be great. You see me smiling. They can be great. They don't have to be negative, air quotes, negative. However, in the positive, it's all about the unexpectedness of moving forward, becoming aware of something that you didn't know before in a positive way that literally propels you. Maybe it's a love interest that comes forward and says, it's been you. I've loved you all this time. Or maybe it's truth bombs where, there's something on the world stage that is revealed, that literally pulls back the curtain and says, there's nothing there. Or there's something really there that needs to be corrected. These truth bombs, so incoming truth bombs, brace yourself, be ready, so that how we handle them with grace and with responsiveness. We respond, we don't react, so that we harness the positivity of them for proactive measures, proactive steps, because it's, again, set free to soar, to climb higher. You are liberated at long last. And these truth bombs, these incoming truth bombs, are going to serve that purpose, because it's all about the shifting tides, power to the people. It's reminding us, it's awakening us again. Number 3 from the unseen, the way to, the way through. And this is this image of the 1001. It's 10-1. But notice that the zeros represent God, the all that is, the eternalness of our nature, of our being, of divinity. And the ones are that gateway. They are the pillars, the way to and the way through. And the unseen said, God, the unseen, the all that is, your soul source connection. So the way to or through something is through God, the all that is, the master weaver, the host, the unseen, your soul source connection. It's through your heart, it's through your soul. And that's the way to or the way through any situation. So remember, when faced with uncertainty or choice, a decision, a decision point, a choice point, look to your soul source connection, to the divine, and listen. And then go as guided. Because your ego, mind, personality, human, it's going to be chatter, chatter, chatter. It's monkey mind. It's monkeys at the lake. It's going to, be freaking out. And yet your soul will just be sitting there patiently and quietly. It's true north. It knows what to do. It knows where to go. And so it simply invites you to say, still in stillness, ask, receive, go as guided. And it brings me to our mantra. Our mantra is own, atone, release. This is all about own what is yours, whatever it may be. Through discernment, we discern what is ours and we own it. If there's something that we need to atone for, do so. Make an apology. Apologize to yourself if it's been, negative self-talk and limitation and lack and so forth. It can be about writing letters and either mailing them or just simply writing them, because, forgiveness and atoning isn't dependent on another accepting it. It's simply the act of doing it authentically, genuinely. So we own what's ours, we atone for it, and then we release it. By releasing it, we release the weight, the burden. And again, remember, it is not incumbent upon someone else accepting your atonement. This is a gift you give yourself. Should someone receive that and accept it, that's a wonderful cherry on top. However, they may not be in that place or that stage of awareness, of consciousness, of forgiveness. And that's okay. Namaste. I bow to the divine in you. We are each on our journey. So just allow that. But the importance is this beautiful mantra of own, atone, release. That will catapult you forward in ways unimaginable. So now let's move to, just really quickly, I want to go to hexagrams 1 and 2 because it's the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And these are from from tarot.com. Hexagram 1 is the creative power. It's the divine masculine. It's to act and initiate. The air is ripe with imagination, inspiration, and energy. We're talking about these next 3 to 6 months and where we're headed. So the air is ripe with imagination, inspiration, and energy. The flying dragon is an ancient symbol of a dynamic, arousing force that bodes well for creative movement. When your goals are in alignment with the greater good, this is Aquarian, matriarchal, we the people. So when the goals are in alignment with the greater good, positive actions taken with good timing, divine timing, will meet with success. This is an excellent time to exercise leadership because you can be strong now. It's about being empowered. However, be forewarned. And this is our first quote. Success turns to failure when strength turns to arrogance. See, when those in power, or when we understand that we are this empowered, this divine power to the people, when we are handed that baton, success turns to failure when strength turns to arrogance. This is about harnessing power properly, with grace, with equanimity, with all of this responsibility, because with great power comes great responsibility. Continuing with hexagram 1, tarot.com. The first hexagram contains all yang lines and is one of the most auspicious readings in the Book of Changes. Whoever draws this hexagram, and we are all drawing this hexagram, is assured success when they follow its 6 stages of development, starting with the bottom line. By being sensitive to conditions and doing things in the right order, the right manner, one develops more influence. Number 11 is the most intuitive master number. It brings about, the intuitiveness brings about greater influence because we're listening, we're going as guided. Time itself becomes the means to make real what has only been the potential before this moment. So time itself becomes the means to make real what has only been the potential before this moment. It means we're right on time. We're right at that place where we're ready for this responsibility, for these shifting tides, for this power to the people. Kiki is saying yesterday was American arrogance. Yes, we're dealing with the height of the shadow of the previous era, the Piscean, patriarchal, divine masculine era. It's all of the goo. And yet how purposeful. It's painful, and yet how purposeful. Because it shows us both what not to be and what to be. Meaning its opposite. The purity of the divine masculine. The purity of the Piscean era. The purity of the patriarchal energies. In their purity, it's the creative force. We harness that power to create, to initiate, to make things happen. Without it, nothing ever really occurs. We're in dreamland. We're intuiting, but we don't take action. So it is to recognize the purity of the divine masculine, the divine feminine, working in harmony together with one another, in service to one another. This brings us to our second quote. Believe in your dreams and persevere, and everything around you will flourish. And it's this beautiful 4-leaf clover, and we had this image some time ago, this beautiful, the luck of the Irish. It's about believing in your dreams. And when we do so, everything around you will flourish because we're in alignment with the creative force, with the receptive force we're receiving. And then that creates inspiration. and then we take action. Call upon your creative power and let it work through you. Stay focused on your goals. Do not allow yourself to be distracted, or you may lose the power that is available to you now. Remember that when taking action, success requires making the right moves at the right time. So this is about listening to your soul source connection. It's your GPS, your God positioning satellite. It's the unseen directing you true north. It only knows true north. So where the human aspect of us may take us off course, may divert us, there is a better way. There is a more direct way. There is a quote unquote right way. That right way is your soul source connection. It's guiding you. Now we move to hexagram 2 from tarot.com, and this is, of course, the receptive power, the receptive force. It's the divine feminine. Great receptivity attracts great gifts and great blessings. You get the great? Great. A natural responsiveness attracts success through support and perseverance rather than bold action. This is about wisdom. It's about listening. What is my soul source connection, guiding me to do or not do? And that attracts success and support, and it creates perseverance rather than bold action, meaning to run roughshod, to override it. Thus, a wise person demonstrates strength like a powerful but gentle mare. This auspicious hexagram, consisting of all yin lines, so the creative force is all yang lines, masculine, and this hexagram 2, which is the receptive, consists of all yin lines, which is feminine. And it represents the power of the feminine principle, which has not been honored in our modern world. However, such receptivity is much more powerful and healing than we realize. And see, this is what's going on too. The divine masculine has been in charge. Well, that shifting tides, power to the people, the eras, that baton is being handed to the divine feminine in all of us. It's not just about gender. It's far more than that. Because no matter, you can, again, be male, gendered male in this life, we all have divine feminine, divine masculine within us. And it's about that harmony and the balance of the two and bringing them into harmony. The receptive force is sensual and subtle and can be overlooked by too much thinking, talking, and planning. That's divine masculine, ego, mind, personality, human. When spring comes, does the grass plan to grow? This is a time to concentrate on realities rather than potentials, with how to respond to a situation rather than how to direct or manipulate it. This is about responding, listening, divine timing, right timing, go as guided, be ready, jump. Truth bombs, incoming truth bombs. It's being set free, liberated. It's doing so in a conscious manner. So the mature feminine allows herself to be guided by a higher power and is skilled at graceful acceptance. Spiritually, her quiet contribution is highly effective, bringing a deeply felt kind of success. Do not be too assertive at this time. This is all about listening, soul source connection, listening. When you try to direct things now, you are liable to become confused or alienated. So this is like, we don't need to swim upriver. We need to flow with the river, with the current, with the time. Opening yourself to receive what you attract should be your primary concern. Be patient and take your time. And this is our third quote. Draw strength from mindfulness, and you will be doubly fortunate. So when we draw strength from our wisdom, from our knowing, from our soul source connection, mindfulness, we will be doubly fortunate. Focus more on feeling than on action. Whoops. Yes. Be broad and deep in your attitude so that you accept everything that comes with grace and equanimity. Be receptive and spacious like the ocean. Let the river of changes flow to you. You might allow a person, a partner, to take the lead for now. Strive for a natural responsiveness that is based on inner strength rather than outer show. Because real, true strength, it doesn't shout from the rooftops. It doesn't scream and demean and control and manipulate. It just is. It speaks like truth. It speaks for itself. So that's true power. That's real strength. So we strive for a natural responsiveness that is based on inner strength rather than outer show. You will be able to go further by letting go of control rather than forging ahead under your own steam. Again, this does not mean to not take action. It means to take action in an aligned and intuitive knowing manner. So that when we strike when the iron's hot, we do so because we know it's time to strike out, time to move. We're not forcing something. We're not manipulating something. We're in alignment. And finally, receptive power arises through alignment with creative power. See, the receptive power arises through alignment with the creative power, not in opposition to it. This is where we harness the purity of the divine masculine, the creative force, in service to and with the receptive force, what we're intuiting, and vice versa. And when we do that, there's beautiful harmony, there's beautiful strength, and there's ease. There's a flow about it, and it just liberates and expands. It's success personified. It's only when we get them out of whack, out of balance, that it goes, the plot line goes awry. And then we have things like what we're bearing witness to, what Kiki mentioned, that we see it on the world stage because, again, we're so out of balance. We all, 8.34 billion souls on the planet, we're out of balance. We're out of harmony because we're not harnessing the creative force and the receptive force in the right divine manner, the right way. Number 4 from the unseen. And they said, something tells me, quote, the worldview, the world, she is a changing. She is a changing. And this immediately brought up the song and the lyrics by Bob Dylan, The Times They Are a Changin'. And this song is from 1964. And he said at the time, he said afterwards about the song, this was definitely a song with a purpose. It was influenced, of course, by the Irish and the Scottish ballads. Come all ye bold highway men, come all ye tender-hearted maidens. I wanted to write a big song with short, concise verses that piled up on each other in a hypnotic way. The civil rights movement and the folk music movement were pretty close for a while and allied together at that time. Almost everyone knew everyone else. I had to play this song on the same night that President Kennedy died. Somehow it became a constant opening song and remained that for a long time. This song, so here's number 4, it's foundational. Something tells me the world, she is a changin'. Here's the lyrics to this song, because this is, again, speaking to where we are, where we've been, and more importantly, where we're going. So these are the lyrics to Bob Dylan, The Times They Are a Changin'. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, and you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a changin'. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no tellin' who that it's namin'. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a changin'. Come senators, congressmen, people, heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside ragin' will soon shake your windows and your battle and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changin'. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changin'. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast. At the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading. And the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changin'. This all speaks to this, who you might be in this moment, or what we're seeing on the world stage, where they appear to be first. To the Bob Dylan lyrics, times they are a-changin', they become last. The old yields to the new. And thereby this kind of trying to stop time and hold back progress, and this climbing higher and, set free to soar, the shifting tides, the power to the people. That is the time before us, the Aquarian matriarchal we the people era. And thus it does not, the old yields to the new, period. And so this song speaks, the lyrics speak to this of, be mindful of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And because again, there's room at the table for everyone in the new. It's simply a choice. There's nothing to fear. There's everything, before us as opportunity to gain. Just do it in a, with humility and grace and with reverence for the new. We have to be willing to surrender the old to receive the new. It's just that simple. Number 6 from the unseen. They said, the washing away of sins, a final look back. So we're looking at this next 3-6 months. This washing away of sins, a final look back. And it's to remember, the definition of sin is to miss the mark or miss the point. A slight offense, violating a rule, an offense against God, a violation of divine law. So where have we missed the mark? Where did we miss the point? Where did we make a slight offense? Where did we violate a rule? Where did we make an offense against the unseen, against God, the divine? Where did we violate divine law? And it's number 6, so it's about spirit and service, and it's this the washing away of sins, a final look back. So there is this moment. We are in this moment of, again, beginnings, endings, this cleansing, purifying, that splitting apart to come back together, the breakdown to break through, as Juliana McCarthy mentioned in one of her astrology articles. It's about how we do that, our willingness to do that. And this kind of just the washing away of the sins. It's like there's a point at which the past no longer matters. Because when we're stuck in the past or we live in the past, we literally rob ourselves of the present future, of the present moment. And so it doesn't matter, when the unseen says it doesn't matter about what happened, it's about to take the pearls, the wisdom of the past, but not to cleave to it and not to remain in it, because that keeps us stagnant. It keeps us stuck. There can be the shadow aspects of anger and resentment and hostility and all of those things. And again, we are seeing that play out on the world stage when someone allows their shadow, their anger and resentment and all of their revenge, all of these, when they're fixated on that. And how sad that is, because it prevents them from receiving something far more great. And yet there's a perception that somehow that makes us powerful. It doesn't. It demonstrates our weakness. It's the exact opposite. So number 6, the washing away of sins, a final look back. So there's a finality, because remember, all the outer planets, the heavy hitter planets, Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, all moving direct by April of 2026. All of them will officially have moved into their new signs, never to return to them again in our lifetime. So, well, maybe Saturn, because it's got a shorter orbit. But that's the point. It's major, massive change. So now let's move to North Point Journal. And this is Pam Youngin's astrologer at North Point Journal. And she's talking about the week ahead, and yet these energies are playing out. We are now moving through the final days of eclipse season. During this time, life will most likely continue to feel intense, unpredictable, and a bit surreal. There will still be reverberations and fallout from all that has transpired over the past 4 weeks. Because again, these eclipse energies and the autumnal energies that were very closely aligned, they play out for the next 3 to 6 months. So there will still be reverberations felt. And we could also experience new events related to the eclipse themes. A full moon in Aries occurs this coming Monday, October 6th. We're going to cover that next week. While not an eclipse, this lunation carries extra significance since it marks the climax of the lunar cycle that began with the new moon solar eclipse on September 21st. That was the first of 2 new moons in Virgo. Next week's full moon also officially closes the door on eclipse season. So we have this culmination point coming in with these energies. And then Pam Youngin says, as the waxing Capricorn moon squares the Libra sun, we may see new developments related to events that occurred under the influence of our most recent solar eclipse. We are challenged to reevaluate our goals, to address any fears or doubts that may have risen, and to commit to taking action as necessary. This is all affirming that whole right time, right manners, right way. There's a right way. And we know this. We're taught as children, right from wrong. So this isn't left versus right, or Republican versus Democrat, or this country, white versus black, or this country versus this country. All of that boils down to right versus wrong. It's as simple as that. And so this is about this taking action as necessary. We may become aware of where we want to collaborate with others, to work with others. That's the sun in Libra. And where we need to be self-reliant, the moon in Capricorn. And lastly, she talks about this Mercury square Jupiter. It's the chart we're using for this episode. The news cycle goes through another acceleration phase today, perhaps resulting in information overload. It could be incoming truth bombs, and they're going to play out between the next 3 to 6 months. Videos, opinions, and the demand for fairness are amplified. Some may be self-righteous, moralistic, or defensive, because truth bombs, truth is coming out. And we've been talking for many shows for many months now about how all of this is going to come at us full frontal. We are not going to be able to turn away, bury our heads in the sand. Things that we have ignored perhaps a lifetime are coming right at us. We can no longer ignore them, avoid them, because they don't go into the new. And so we must transmute them, work with them now and transmute them. That's where we are in this cycle of the washing away of sins, a final look back. It's just about getting right with ourselves. And when we get right with ourselves, well, then we're right with others. The relationships change. The world changes because we're doing the works. We're getting right with ourselves. It's very important work. Now let's move to Astrology by Lauren. And she's speaking about after the eclipses. And she begins with a quote from Haruki Murakami. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain, When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what the storms are all about. That's what this whole point, this moment, this crescendo climax moment, this beginning and the dismantling, the deconstruction of the past era is that storm. And we're all walking in it. We're all walking through it. However, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what the storm's all about. That's what this process, this moment is all about. It is about getting to the other side. How we get there, how each of us gets there, that's up to us. That's choice. So, Astrology by Lauren. Eclipses often serve as turning points. This is especially so when they fall at a sensitive degree of your natal chart, of your birth chart, as it did for my own chart on Sunday. This is about her own chart, and this breaks my heart for her. Great beginnings and great endings occur when the eclipses touch us personally. And so, my husband, packed up his music and his trumpet and left for that celestial big band in the sky just one day before the solar eclipse. He is so missed. So these eclipses bring about finality, great endings, great beginnings, especially when they're aspected in our individual charts or the astrological chart of a place. You know, all cities, countries, businesses, they have a birth chart, a natal chart. And so these things can happen. And with Astrology by Lauren, her husband passed. And so there was great finality in that. And so a heartfelt shout of love and hugs to Astrology by Lauren. She continues, eclipses are not your ordinary new and full moons. They serve as demarcations and pivotal points in our lives that can even change our lives forever. We can feel their imminent effects weeks before, but the ramifications are felt for months, if not years afterwards. The reason the eclipse on the equinox was so effective was not only because it occurred so close to the Earth's axis, and not only because it was a south node eclipse, that's what we're releasing as humanity, but also because it was directly opposite the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Saturn and Neptune, Saturn's at the very final degrees, it's retrograde at the final degrees of Pisces. That completes the astrological wheel. And Neptune is just getting ready to re-enter Pisces. Both of them are retrograding and they're together, they're conjunct. These planets have been closely aligned all summer and have since stationed retrograde in July and returning to the last degrees of Pisces. This gives us the feeling of having to tie up all those loose ends, all the straggly parts of our lives connected to the past. So see, it's not about burying our heads in the sand. This is about doing the works. What do I need to do? Is it spring cleaning? Is it relationships? Is it, places where I live or the job or the careers that I'm in? Anything that requires our attention to release the past so we may receive the present future, where we're going, is required at this time. This conjunction plagued us with uncertainty, threatened to destabilize the structures in our lives, and left many with the feeling of not being able to make any plans or see their way forward in a clear way. But what we should be doing, and especially now that Saturn has returned to Pisces, Neptune returns to Pisces around the 23rd of October, that's coming up. So what we're to do in this moment, Astrology by Lauren, is to connect with ourselves on a very deep level. Whatever you may call it, whether it be conscience, spirit, soul, higher consciousness, it is that essential part of us that knows. And even if we don't consciously know, it is this which will guide us in these uncertain times. This is the entire Go as Guided. This is the soul source connection, the host, the master weaver, the unseen. It's about connecting to our knowing. That knowing is divine feminine. And when we connect to that, like the gentle mare in hexagram 2, we're guided. We know what to do. That to do is hexagram 1, the creative force. We know how to act or when to act, what to do, and when. And it will, per Astrology by Lauren, as we speak about all the time, it is this which will guide us in these uncertain times. Connecting with that inner knowing requires a certain amount of faith and belief that we are being led precisely where we need to be, even if it doesn't appear to be that way. Often what our ego wants is not necessarily what our soul wants or needs. And the soul knows. The soul knows everything. It's the relationship we come in with. It's the one we leave with. And so the soul knows its true north. Saturn-Neptune aspects can be very destabilizing and can be associated with loss. Saturn represents all that we are accustomed to having in our lives and perhaps always assumed on a certain level that it would always be there. So we can think about these institutions or businesses or people in our lives, and we come to this place that we're accustomed to having them, and we believe that that's our foundation and that they'll always exist. And of course, we all know that that's not true, that all things at some point fall away. Neptune can dissolve these and render them invisible. Conversely, Neptune represents our dreams and ideals, and Saturn, with its cold grip on reality, threatens to block, delay, and even stop us in our tracks. The combination of these planets also has the remarkable capacity to make our dreams manifest and to give credibility to our ideals. So this is about faith and trust, and what do we believe? Do we believe that we are on this path, on this journey for ascension? And what lies before us is a whole new world, a whole new era. And thereby to stay focused on our ideals, our capacity to reinvent and to co-create. Or do we believe in the shadow, the illusion, the delusion? And thereby it's all ego, mind, personality. We have to control and manipulate, suppress and oppress, as opposed to trust. There's a wisdom within us that is all-knowing. All-knowing. It is original intelligence. Anything other than that is, quote, artificial. It's not the original. So Astrology by Lauren. The combination of these planets also has the remarkable capacity to make our dreams manifest and to give credibility to our ideals, but often at some sort of sacrifice. The etymology of the word literally is interpreted as making something sacred or holy. And we do this for what we perceive to be a higher cause, or that which is perceived to be divine. So this is about doing something because it's greater than ourselves, and that it comes to us that way, so it has a higher octave of expression and meaning and purpose. On February 20th, Saturn and Neptune will perfect their conjunction. That's on 2026. They will perfect their conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. That's the starting point of an entire new cycle of the astrological wheel. The very first degree of the first sign, all symbolic of some sort of new beginning. This can be devotion to a cause, the commitment to a higher ideal, and a reset for our dreams and ideals for the future. What is significant about this being in the first degree of Aries is that we are given the opportunity to even go off in a whole new direction. So this is big change, big beginnings, complete newness. We can completely, it's the chameleon, we can completely transmute and transform ourselves from who we were to who we are in this moment, who we're meant to be, because our soul knows. The soul knows. Ego, mind, personality, human may try to mitigate and minimize and obstruct. However, when we listen to the soul, it knows. It knows everything. All we have to do is be in an alignment with it. Be willing to go as guided. Be willing to say yes. Be willing to receive far more than we would ever have thought to give ourselves. That's the beauty of the divine and of the unseen and the magic that's contained within it. Astrology by Lauren concludes, in the meantime, tie up those loose ends, release what needs releasing, gather to you the essence of your life's experiences, dreams and hopes, the lessons learned, the wisdom gained, and allow these to permeate your mind and soul. We are in a sacred period of distillation, for it is that essence that we are going to be bringing with us as we take those next steps into the new world that is waiting for us on the other side. And it is a process that we all need to honor. This is divine. There's great reverence in this releasing, the washing away of sins, a final look back. And this, something tells me the world, she is a-changing. And the way to and the way through is the unseen, God, the host, the master weaver, your soul source connection. There's going to be incoming truth bombs. Allow them, respond, don't react. And embrace, there's positivity in the truth being revealed. Because we're being set free to soar, to climb higher. You are being liberated at long last. We've waited for this liberation, this freedom. And ultimately, 7 from the unseen is peace prevails. It's just a matter of time. And so it's to not get caught up in the illusion and the delusion of what's playing out. Is it painful? Yes. Is it purposeful? Yes. And thus it will show us and it will lead us to this place of peace and harmony. Because as we dismantle, as we deconstruct, we're constructing. The beginning is contained in the end is contained in the beginning. And so we have all of this beautiful yin-yang, creative force, receptive force energies, and this, you see me smiling, this beautiful, incoming abundance. And we conclude this week's episode with number 5. 5 denotes changes from the unseen. So, and I heard the lyrics to "We're in the Money." And so with that, the lyrics, this is from the 1933 movie by Warner Brothers, The Gold Diggers of 1933, that has to do with the California Gold Rush and so forth. And it was also used in the Broadway musical 42nd Street. So the lyrics are, "We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. We're in the money, the skies are sunny. Old man depression, you are through, you done us wrong. We never see a headline about a bread line today. And when we see the landlord, we can look that guy right in the eye. We're in the money, come on, my honey. Let's lend it, spend it, send it, rolling along." So there was this, we're in the money. And then I heard also with it in concert, the lyrics from, this is from the OJs, "For the Love of Money." And it's money, 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 money. So you have this aspect. Money is abundance. It's a form of currency. It is a form of prosperity and abundance. It's energy. And so here's number 5 from the unseen. And they are saying to us, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. There is far more that unites 8 billion plus souls on the planet than divides us. And what unites us is our divine nature, our divinity. Currency. Money. Money meaning currency. Money meaning abundance. Money meaning our divinity, our hopes, our dreams, our wishes, our desires for a better world, for a better self, a better us, which is right in front of us. It is right here. And so watch how these next 3 to 6 months pan out, play out, what the truth bombs are, and just stay aligned with your soul source connection and go as guided. You do that, the rest is easy breezy. It is, we're in the money. Money, 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 money. So love you all. Thank you all for your wisdom, your presence, your energy, your comments. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, donate, book an intuitive consultation. All of those things help support Dearjames and all of the great works that the unseen is doing. And so I love you all, and I look forward with this huge smile. I look forward to seeing you all next week to see what's in store and what the unseen presents to us all. Be well.